Assalamu alaikum. We are now in the midst of Ramadan. During this month, the Prophet ﷺ has passed on to us his teachings and practices that continue to be present in our lives. The guidance remains those who follow in his Sunnah. The greatest means of attracting the mercy of Allah is to the degree to which one follows the Sunnah of his Prophet. And so today, inshallah, as we are in the midst of fasting in the month of Ramadan, I will share the top 5 Sunnah of fasting. Number 1. Generosity. Abdullah ibn Abbas used to say, the Prophet was the most generous of all the people, and he used to become more generous in Ramadan when Jibreel met him. Jibreel used to meet him every night during Ramadan to revise the Quran with him. Allah's messenger then used to be more generous than the fast wind. Number 2. I'tikaf. I'tikaf means to stay in one place, meaning to stay usually in a masjid and contemplate about how you can get closer to Allah. Recite Quran, perform voluntary prayers, and do dhikr, or remembering Allah. It is best done in the last 10 days of Ramadan, as the Prophet ﷺ did that. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever was in i'tikaf with me should stay in i'tikaf for the last 10 days. For I was informed of the date of the night of Laylatul Qadr, but I have been caused to forget it. In a dream, I saw myself prostrating in mud and water in the morning of that night. So look for it in the last 10 nights and in the odd ones of them. It rained that night, and the roof of the masjid dribbled as it was made of leaf stalks of date palms. I saw with my own eyes the mark of mud and water on the forehead of the Prophet in the morning of the 21st. Number 3. Waking up for sahur, or the pre-dawn meal. The Prophet ﷺ said, take a meal a little before dawn, for there is a blessing in taking a meal at that time. Number 4. Praying Tarawih. Abu Hurairah reported that the Prophet ﷺ used to urge the people to perform Tarawih prayers at night during the month of Ramadan. He did not order them or made it obligatory on them. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever performs Tarawih prayers at night during the month of Ramadan with faith and in the hope of receiving Allah's reward will have his past sins forgiven. And number 5, abstain from anger. The Prophet ﷺ said, fasting is a shield, so when one of you is fasting, he should neither indulge in obscene language, nor should he raise his voice in anger. If someone attacks him or insults him, let him say, I am fasting. And so that's the top 5 Sunnah of fasting that the Prophet ﷺ practiced during the month of Ramadan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.